All right, let's talk about the literacy narrative. The literacy narrative is 5 assignments. That's it. And it spans the time period of June 1st to June 18th. And the goal of the literacy narrative is to get you writing. You're writing about yourself. And the first 3 assignments are really just getting you to understand what the assignment is asking you to do. I mean, honestly, assignment 1 is just you're introducing yourself to the class, which does kind of count as part of getting you ready for the narrative, the literacy narrative, which is a narrative essay, because it's about you. So you're introducing yourself to the class, it's about yourself. So maybe start reflecting on who you are, what you feel comfortable sharing with the class about who you are, your background, what your interests are. After that, you're going to read an essay by Philip Lopate about personal essays and about his definition, what that entails, because the narrative, the literacy narrative, the narrative essay is a personal essay because it's about you. After that, you're going to read the inspired writer versus the real writer, and then you're going to have 4 prompts to answer. Just make sure that you take a look for assignment 2 and 3 at the word count. So assignment 2 has to be 150 to 200 words. That's a non-negotiable. All right, so make sure you're checking your word count as you go along. What are the reasons for what's a reason for a word count, so that you know that you're giving me enough depth. So I've been teaching at Cincinnati State for 23 years. I've been teaching these classes for that amount of time. I am aware of the amount of depth. So if I don't tell you that and you throw a couple of sentences my way, it's not going to help you that I didn't give you a word count to help guide you to the amount of depth and development that's going to ensure you answer the question or the prompt appropriately. So don't look at the word count as, look at the word count as, okay, it's guidance. It's helping me. It's helping me kind of plan, because if you look at assignment 3, you've got 4 prompts, and total numbers 1 to 4, those prompts should be 600 to 750 words. Not each one, but total 1 through 4. So if 1 is a little bit longer than 2 or 3, and I'm just arbitrarily giving an example, together 600 to 750 words. After that, you're doing the draft, and then I give you comments, feedback, and then you revise it and you submit the revision. That's assignment 5. So that is the first unit. Now, I do want to point out that you should already be starting to think about your own literacy journey. What does that mean? Your journey with language, with reading and writing. Could be school. We've all gone to school. I mean, you're in college right now, so you have gotten through high school. And I know at Cincinnati State, we have people that have taken different journeys, different age levels, different countries of origin, different languages we speak. There are many things that you could choose to write about, and it doesn't necessarily have to be school related. It could be just life related. Maybe there's a mentor in your life or an experience that had something to do with reading or writing that you could relay, because a literacy narrative is the key word. Another way to call literacy narrative is a personal essay, but also a narrative essay. And notice the word narrative, literacy narrative, narrative essay. It's kind of a hybrid, because narrative is story, essay is explain. So how do we work those two things together? Well, first, you need to start percolating and brainstorming about some things that have happened in your life. They don't need to be positive. They don't have to be negative. They don't have to be either or. It could be somewhere on the sliding scale of good, bad. Something that was meaningful or impactful in your life in some way that has to do with reading or writing, and you're going to tell one story. One story. Now, what makes it a narrative essay and not just a narrative? There's an introduction and a conclusion. Both explain. The introduction gives the reader enough context to understand the story you're going to tell. Is there a difference between I'm 18, I just graduated high school, and I'm going to talk about something that happened to me last year as a senior? Is there a difference between that and I'm 46, I'm returning to school, I'm writing about something that happened to me in the 4th grade? Yes, there's a big difference between that. You need to set the context at the beginning in the introduction. How old are you now? How old were you when the story takes place? Where does the story take place? Is it Cincinnati, Ohio? If you say it happened in school, what's the school? Name it. Give specific details. This one teacher, what is that one teacher's name? Give the reader enough context to situate themselves comfortably in the story that you're going to then tell, because that's what it is. Introduction, story, conclusion. The two essay parts, introduction, which I just explained, setting the stage, giving contextual background information. The conclusion is the takeaway. Why'd you tell this story? What impact has it had on you? What did you learn from it? What should I, as a reader, take away from the story that you've told? Now, in between the introduction and conclusion is the story with narrative details. Slow down, describe. If it takes place in a classroom, obviously you can't describe everything in the classroom. You could describe the teacher. You could describe your desk. You could talk about how you're feeling, provide dialogue, punctuate it correctly with quotation marks, things like that, and narrate. So think about your favorite movie. Think about your favorite short story or novel. Think about your favorite streaming show. We see a lot more when we watch, when we read. Think about how things slow down. So you don't want to be so quick to say, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Give yourself the freedom to slow yourself down and describe. And honestly, as the first assignment, some people think to themselves, how am I ever going to meet the word count? Well, you meet the word count by slowing yourself down, right? So this has to be a minimum of 1,500 words. And for some people, that sounds like that's impossible. But I'm telling you, if you actually narrate your story, you provide detail, you slow yourself down and you describe, you'll have more than enough words. So with that being said, the goal this week, or the goal in this unit, is to start getting your feet wet, getting back into the routine of a writer. And you should already be, after today or after seeing this video, thinking about what have been my reading and writing experiences. And guess what? You probably have not thought about these things in a long time. So you have to give yourself enough time to brainstorm and let some memories kind of rise to the surface. Because we all daydream and we all think about different things as we're driving or doing this, that, or the other. But I bet you're not driving on a long car drive going, I haven't really thought about recently what my experiences have been with reading and writing. That's what we're asking you to do right now. So you might not come up with something, boom, right off the top of your head. But you got to give your unconscious mind a little bit of time to start bringing stuff to the surface, and then you can select. Now, as you're narrating, does it mean that, if I don't remember exactly what was said, I'm 46, I want to write about something that happened to me in 7th grade? Just try to be true to the spirit of what you remember, right? That's what you want to do. So it doesn't mean you need to throw out all dialogue because you don't remember exactly what was said. What did your teacher say? Just try to be true to the spirit of that exchange. If it was heartwarming, great. Have a heartwarming conversation the best you can to recreate it so that it's true to the moment. Okay, with that being said, I look forward to reading your first assignments as you turn them in, and make sure you raise your hand in an online asynchronous class. That would be send me an email if you have any questions or concerns.